guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have an in-depth, amazing color correction for you guys. I know these videos tend to do really well on my channel. Today I have my client Betsy. It's our first session together. She came to me about 2 weeks ago saying she needed a correction. I told her the options. Either we can do as many things in one day as possible to get a jump start to her end goal, which is a nice silvery white, or we can do it slow and do one session at a time, and it could take multiple sessions. Either way, but you know, I offered her the option to do as much as we can for a major color correction to get as light as we can, and boy oh boy, didn't it work out in our favor. So if you want to learn how to tackle a 9-hour color correction, which I thought was going to take a lot longer, and you want to take notes and you want to master color, this all breaks down all that throughout the entire tutorial. I suggest tinkling before you start, grabbing a snack, grabbing a drink, and really getting your blanket, your notepad, cuddling up and taking notes, because this is a color correction like never before on my channel. Similar ones, but not as in-depth and not as drastic. So without further ado, if you want to see this amazing major color correction tutorial I have for you here today, then keep watching. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This video should have been out a couple of days ago. I'm a little behind. I got back from Daytona Beach and I'm just getting back in the swing of things. So, you guys, this is gonna be one color correction you don't wanna miss. This is Betsy, as I said in the intro video. She has been using 6-7 levels, a 6N and a 7N from Sally's. I believe it's Ion Permanent Color, and knowing my history working with people who've had Ion Color, especially the direct dyes, they do not release. So I'm a little nervous about this, but we decided to take it into as much as we can in one 9-hour session so we can jumpstart her, and it makes it quicker to get to her goal after doing this today. Instead of doing just full highlight, full highlight, full highlight, full highlight, we'll still have to do 2 or 3 full highlights after this, maybe, because we did get some really good lift. But I'm using Scruples Color Delete. Anytime I go to a color remover, Scruples Color Delete is my go-to. It is very gentle on the hair. It never really does too much damage on the hair. It is kind of like Bleach, but not as strong. It's very gentle. And if you don't have a color remover and you don't trust them, because I had an issue finding a good one, you can just do, you know, a lightener and do like 20-30 volume, put a little bit of shampoo in there, make a cocktail, and do the same thing like this platinum card. The only time I will do a platinum card is when I'm doing this, something like this kind of situation where it's a color correction and we need to kick out as much as possible. I'm going to leave the roots out. I'm not going to ever apply this remover to her fresh regrowth. She has about a 1/2 inch. First of all, it goes gray, white, 1/2 inch. Then it's like 2 or 3 inches of like an orangey, rusty color. And then as it gets down, it gets further and further and further. It gets darker and darker and darker. That's because she overlapped her hair multiple times throughout the years. So as you overlap and overlap and overlap, it's just going to keep getting darker and darker. It doesn't matter if it's a light brown, a dirty blonde. It will always get darker until it turns black because the pigment is building up. With Scruples Delete, they recommend using it 1 part of the powder to 3 parts developer. So I believe I did 30 grams of powder followed by 90 grams of 20 volume with a total of 120 grams. And we did end up using 4 bowls. You can leave it on up to an hour. They recommend not using heat.
I get so caught up in the middle, thinking of drowning in those blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down, deep down. And it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes. And you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark. I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll
So, you seen all the things we did. After the color remover worked its magic and lifted her very well, there were still some mid-area problems with dark orange-red banding, so I went in with a bleach wash. I did the FANOLA No Yellow Lightening Powder, 9+ levels of a lift with 30 volume, and I added some Kenra clarifying shampoo, and of course Olaplex. I did add 1/8 ounce instead of a 1/16. And then after that, I let that sit for about 20 minutes. We rough dried her, and now I'm over here on her head working magic, doing a full tightly, and I mean tightly packed baby light back to back to back. True Brett Ryan fashion. The only way we're going to even things out as much as possible and get great lift is by packing these foils in. I am doing very small stitches. We do want a more solid end result, and her goal is more of like a white silvery color. That's her natural color, that's white, so that she doesn't have to do any maintenance. She knows today it's not possible to get that end goal, but we were very stunned with what ended up happening, with what the result was that we were left with, so keep watching.
Carry all that you've got. Two heavy hearts is not a lot. I will put out all of the fire. We stumble and fall, and it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. You can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light.
So now we're about 3/4 away, if not more, to the finished foil result. I have now mixed a new batch of Lightener, or the 3rd or 4th bowl by now. And I've also mixed a 30 volume bowl, and I'm doing all the tease dropouts with 30 volume so they can catch up a little bit, since they're, number one, not getting the heat from the scalp because they're too far away, and number two, they're not on as long. So this will hopefully even everything out. Once all the foils are in and done and complete, and she has a really heavy, tight packed head, we're gonna let her sit for about 50 to 55 minutes, and then we'll go on to toning. I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but when I am doing the tease tipped out ends, I'm only doing 2 foils, and I'm taking the subsections from just 2 foils at a time to keep it very small in that drop out foil so that we get as much lift as evenly as possible.
I get so caught up in the middle, thinking of drowning in those blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down, and it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning. will put out all of the fire. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, yeah, I can carry all that you've got. Two heavy hearts is not a lot. I will put out all of the fire. We stumble and fall, and it's not a lie that I die. I can hide what this is. Yeah, I keep
All right, so I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, where'd the paint between go? Why didn't you do a paint between? Why didn't you do the dropouts? Well, number one, she lifted well enough on those ends that we felt comfortable enough just doing a global toner. Maybe needing a mid-toner, we're not sure yet. Keep watching. But I didn't want to go through all in between every single foil and do a paint between. So we decided, since her root area was still going to be a little bit lighter and she doesn't want that reverse line of demarcation, we're going to go in and root smudge her using a permanent color. You guys, you know I'm not a fan of this, but it's a lot easier than going between all those foils after doing 9 hours of work already. So I'm going in and I'm using Igora Royal. I decided to give their permanent color line a try. And these are equivalent to an NN in like a Gold Wall Top Chic. These are their .00. So it's like 6.00, which means level 6, double pigment. So think of the 00 as an NN because they go by the number system. So I decided to go in with a level 6.00 and a level 7.00, equal parts. So what I'm doing is making a 6.5 level. I want it to always be darkest at the root. Every person's natural hair from natural life always will be darker at the root coming out, and it will always gradually get lighter from the sun and the normal wear and tear. So we're doing that, and I'm also, on top of that, going to be mixing up a mids toner. The mids toner will work wonders, just watch and see, because she does have a lot of banding in that mid area, as you see right here, for example. So her roots are really light. I feathered into them. I didn't want to lighten them up for no reason. They're already naturally white. So that mid area is going to be a trouble spot. So you got to make sure toning is crucial when it comes to stuff like this. You got to know your color line you're using. You got to know the color wheel. Everything about color is so important when it comes to blondes and color corrections. Color corrections aren't for everybody, and most hairdressers, I'd say about 90%, steer clear of them. But I like the challenge. It helps break the day up, and it's exciting for me because you never know what you're going to get. So we're doing that 6.5 permanent color on the root area. I'm going to comb that through once I apply that everywhere. We're going to let that sit for about, I'd say, 15-20 minutes. Then I'm going to go in with the mid toner. For the mid formula, I mixed up 7N, 8N, 7NA. So it's about a 7.5 level, closer to a 7. And that is going to be what we need to counteract that orange band, because level 7s have blue undertone and we need to knock out orange. Once I put that mid-tone on, we'll let those two sit together, process a few more minutes, and then I'll go on at the end and put the final global toner on, let everything sit together for a few more minutes, and then we'll show you guys the final results.
And you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets am running for you. I am running for you. I am running for you. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too
Alright guys, so now we're going to tone her ends. So we did a permanent color, the Igora 6.00, 7.00, and I wanted to have those different tones. Add a little bit of 6, just a sprinkle for just some depth, so in case the 7 looked too light. So then I did that permanent color 20 volume with the dedicated developer, put that on the root, then I combed that down and blended it. I have the NutriCare Restructuring Mask on and Olaplex number 2 on her mids and ends this entire time. It's going to stay on the entire time because then it allows it to sit for a little bit without sucking up too quickly, and it gives it longevity. The mid toner was 7NA mostly, 7N, 8N. Now we're going to tone and we're going to do 9s, and we're going to just mix up right now. So I want to keep her where it feels lighter and not too ashy where it looks too dark, because we want to make sure people can tell we had a lot of lightness achieved today. So I'm going to do probably a little bit of 9N. I'll tell you in a second what I'm going to do. So we're going to add a little bit of 9N. We're going to add a little bit of 9NB. We're going to add a little bit of 9AG. We're going to add a little bit of 9P. And then we're going to add a little bit of 9GB and 9NW. And on top of that, I'm going to add just a sprinkle of 10BG. So we're going to do 2, 4, 6, 7 colors. 10BG, 9AG, the new AG series. So those are ash, golds, and violet golds. That gold just keeps it a little bit brighter, but still ashy, so it doesn't get too dull or blue or purple looking. We're going to do 9P, of course, that's the money. 9N, and all together that's going to give us 8 colors, and it's going to be beautiful, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so now I'm applying that global toner everywhere. We're going to mush everything in together, comb them all through together, let them sit for about 10 more minutes, and she should be good. When it comes to toning, reassure your clients it always looks really dark and scary, but trust me when I tell you, what you're looking at right now will look nothing like the final result. Even I was blown away, and that rarely happens anymore, so keep watching. Also, I'm going to just do the ending right here and let you guys continue to let the film roll. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the continued support. It's because of you guys I'm able to do what I love, putting content out, sharing it with the world. I'm always getting great comments and love, and I'm so thankful for that. It definitely makes up for all the negativity. Putting yourself out there is not easy, but it's worth it. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. As always, so long for now, guys.
I get so caught up in the middle, thinking of drowning in those blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down, deep down. And it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes, and you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark.